Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky15, where I'll be giving you my each way Lucky15 predictions for tomorrow's horse racing action. Well, I've got to say today it was an absolutely poor day with our selections today. The best thing that happened to us today was our nap being voided. It became a non-runner in the end. That was pretty reckless at Plumpton. I saw all the Skelton runners in the end were withdrawn and became non-runners, so I'm not sure what was going on there, but they obviously didn't run their horses today at Plumpton. Away from that, we backed horses at Windsor. We did two selections at Windsor. The first one was Liquid Gold, and I think that's probably the most likeliest one you could forgive today. It got hampered halfway round and was always up against it from then on, plugged on to finish in the midfield in the end, so that was kind of a disappointing one there. Also as well, Sir Roderick was very well backed I should say, probably looking to exploit a good handicap mark. Well, at least on paper anyway, it looked like a good handicap mark, but he has just not been firing at all, Sir Roderick, and was very disappointing. And then the other horse that we selected was Pontefract in the listed race there. Learned by heart, really never got into the race today. So it was really disappointing today. Probably one of the worst days we've had on the channel for quite a while, as we've been in some good form in the last few weeks, getting a few winners here and there, and getting a lot of placed horses as well, and getting really a lot of horses that make the frame in the races. So we've been in some decent form of late, but hopefully we can bounce back and have a better day tomorrow. I will be honest with you, tomorrow's horse racing looks fairly weak on paper, but it is a Tuesday in the middle of October, and you can't expect too much good racing on at this time of year in the midweek. So we'll try and muddle through, but I thought Exeter had a good card on tomorrow, and there were also a few good races at the likes of Newcastle that were quite interesting to watch. So it's not the worst day I've ever seen for horse racing tomorrow, but like I said, it's not a great lot on tomorrow in the quality and depth of racing. But anyway, like I said, Exeter probably has one of the better cards on tomorrow, and that's where we're going to be kicking off tomorrow with a horse called Cenneros. It's currently around 5-1 with bookmakers at the moment. It's going to be in the 320 at Exeter. It's currently trained by Tom George, and Barry Garrity will be taking the ride tomorrow. He's got quite a few good rides on tomorrow, Barry Garrity. He'll be riding the likes of Yamworth, which makes its chase debut tomorrow for Alan King. That could be an exciting runner there, but he rides this one for Tom George in the 320. This horse won quite nicely last time at Bangor in some new headgear, in some blinkers, so hopefully that will keep the spark going, because they're going to be reapplying those tomorrow, so nothing's changed there. And I thought he was still quite well handicapped on his old form, and I thought potentially 5-1 wasn't a bad price for him to make the frame. I could see him running a good race. He's still going to be receiving a little bit of weight from his rivals also as well. He should have that freshness as well in what was quite a nice win last time out in a well contested race. It was very competitive at Bangor, so I thought 5-1 wasn't a bad each way selection there. The second selection for tomorrow is our nap for the day. I think it's quite a good bet. I already see it's getting well backed already, but we managed to get it at 7-1. It's called Sutters Mill. It's in the 350 at Exeter, and it's trained by Evan Williams, who's been in pretty good form of late. His stable have been firing out the winners a lot recently, and he's given this young lad a chance, Mitchell Bastion, quite a few rides, and he's been paying some good favours for him and getting plenty of winners. He has a £7 claim, and I believe as well he's top of the conditional jockey championship at this stage. Obviously there's a lot of racing still to go, a few good conditional jockeys around, the likes of James Byrne, who will definitely be probably chasing him over the winter, and there'll probably be a good battle on there. But Mitchell Bastion has been a good jockey so far. He takes £7 off on this horse tomorrow, and this horse, Sutters Mill, has been very, very consistent over its last few runs, getting quite a few wins and beating some good horses in those races as well. It's been really exploiting a low handicap mark, and I don't think the handicap has caught up with it yet, and I thought off a mark of around 110 he was still very well handicapped, and I thought 7-1 was really attractive a price for me to be getting stuck in there, backing him each way, because I think he could definitely make the frame, and that was a very attractive price for me. I believe he's currently 5-1 with some bookmakers already, so a lot of people laying into him early doors. So that's going to be our nap for tomorrow, Sutters Mill in the 350 at Exeter. We then go to Newcastle on the all-weather, because it's the all-weather championship that starts tomorrow, so we now know that the winter is well on its way, And we go to the 4:10 at Newcastle with a horse called Boy in the Bar. We got it at 4-1 with bookmakers, and it's trained by Ian Williams, who's a bit of a mixture between the two. Josephine Gordon will be taking the ride tomorrow. This horse has been well backed already. Now this horse has been running in some good quality races on the flat, on the turf, and has got quite a low all-weather mark. It's never really found its niche on the all-weather, but last time out it showed some sparks of maybe exploiting its low all-weather mark in a good race at Chelmsford, where it featured in some races against horses that were rated in the 90s and the 80s. So I thought off a mark of 79 he was still potentially quite well handicapped in this field. Also as well, he's got a good jockey on Josephine Gordon, who's does pretty well, I should say, at Newcastle. She's kind of like a course specialist there. I often see her put in a lot of good performances at Newcastle, and that also came for a group win for her this year in the summer there as well. So she should be raring to go tomorrow on Boy on the Bar, and I thought 4-1 that wasn't a bad price to be laying into this horse. We then go over to Ireland for our last selection on their only fixture of the day at Fairyhouse in the 4:45. We go for a horse called AABC. It's currently 7-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Niall Madden, and I believe it's probably his son Tom Madden, who will be able to take £5 off tomorrow, will be taking the ride. This horse is more of a hurdler. It's seen more on the national hunt scene over in Ireland, but it's run on a few flat races in its time, and it's now off to the same mark when it won last time on the flat, which is 48. And I thought he was very well handicapped in this sphere tomorrow. Also carrying a lightweight as well. I thought he could definitely go very well. He'll also stay the trip, conditions no problem. Also as well, he's a recent hurdle winner, so he arrives here in not too bad form and probably in some good shape. And I thought a 7-1, that wasn't a bad each way price to make the frame, and he could be potentially well backed in that race tomorrow. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on in that race. So that's the last selection there. AABCC, as it were. A bit of a funny name there. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for tomorrow's selection. Hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow. If you have any different opinions on the races that I've gone through, if you disagree with me or do agree with me, let me know in your comments in the comments box below. Also as well, please subscribe to the YouTube channel here, Lucky15, for more horse racing daily content. Also as well, like the videos, gamble responsibly. Hopefully you don't lose too much money from my predictions tomorrow. So yeah, that's all I've got to say really. Hopefully we can have a good day, and we'll be seeing you soon.